you pretty much built your own house since it's made out of rocks. The carpenter would come, or carpenter and stonemason. Jesus is actually, the word is not carpenter, it's builder, tekton. So it's probable that Jesus was a stonemason as well as a carpenter. And someone like Jesus would come and they would make the door, the front door of your compound, and hang it and, chisel the rocks that went around the door so you had a nice doorway. But most of the rest of it you made yourself. And your insulae had one door to the street. The actual rooms just had usually a cloth hanging over the entranceway. So again, little privacy. And the custom was you kept your door to your insulae open all day long, because part of the thing with an honor culture is you don't want to do anything in secret. So you kept your door open just so people could come by and look in and know that you were being honorable and doing good things inside. And because if you closed your door, they'd get suspicious that maybe something was going on. So that's how you lived. You had a cistern to store water for the dry season. You channeled water off the roof into your cistern. Israel has a Mediterranean climate, so like in where I'm at in California, it rains all winter long, and then in the summer it doesn't rain from usually May through October. So about half the year it doesn't rain. Another interesting little tidbit, if you had a mikvah, a ritual bath, the water had to be channeled from the roof. It had to be living water and not dead water that you carried. And if it didn't rain for 6 months, you kept the same water in your mikvah all summer long. So ritual baths were not for cleanliness, they were for purity. Possessions, you had pottery vessels for cooking and eating. You might have had some stone vessels, which were advantageous because they couldn't become unclean. If a pottery vessel became unclean, you had to break it. So you had to be really careful with your vessels. There was very little furniture in your house, no bedsteads. People slept on mats on the floor. You probably had some chests for storing clothing and other things, oil lamps, cooking utensils. You would have had a loom because you made your own clothes, but not a whole lot else. Clothing was actually a pretty valuable possession. It took a long time to make an article of clothing when you had to raise the flax and beat it and red it and comb it and soak it and make fibers out of it and spin it into wool. So those were really valuable. And then you had some tools for work. If you were farming, you had your hoes and rakes and your plow and that kind of thing. And your animals, whichever you had, stayed in the house with you. So right there where you lived, boy, was the donkey if you had one, or the few sheep that you had, or whatever. So yes, when Jesus stayed in the stable was probably just part of somebody's house. It wasn't off in the boondocks like a barn would be for us. It was right there. So that's a bit about your house.